Take care home. Just a little wisdom. Just a little. Come back and have no man or have no woman. Know what she likes. And if you don't know, find out. If you ain't good at it, keep. Come on, if you ain't good at it, keep going till you get better. That's all. Don't stop. I don't know how to do that. I ain't doing that no more. I don't want to do that. There's someone in the wind is waiting to do what you won't do. Amen. See, I'm telling you, I had to learn too. I had to learn too. I will do whatever it takes to keep my man. So if he left, I would say, Lord, I did what I was supposed to do. He didn't want to leave. Good, I'm at peace. Because I did what I was supposed to do. Now, if you haven't done what you're supposed to do, I'm telling you tonight, do what you're supposed to do. Amen. Start now. If you haven't started, stop now. Get a babysitter. Yes, Lord. Amen. Honey, take turns. I keep yours this night. You keep mine the next night. I just want to have some time. That's all. Well, I can get loose. I can walk by the house, and we don't walk by the house, and nobody got to worry about, oh, did we see us? No, baby. I'm free, because ain't nobody here but me and you. Saved don't mean you're dead, and you stop having fun. You got a leader right now to have all the fun you want. Just a little wisdom. That's all. Just a little. But let me get back. Y'all making me go on up. Talk about no. Oh, Lord. Then we got to tell him that she was a Moabite that came with Naomi, that she asked to glean the sheaves, and that she had been working since morning. Boaz addressed her and says to her, he don't waste no time. He asked about it, then he go and approach her. Tells her, don't glean in any other field but mine. I done told the men, don't mess with you. Don't touch you. And that you ain't even got to go to the well to get no water. I had my men bring it to you. Something about this woman. That God gave her favor.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Like I said, imagine how she may have looked working all day in the field, sweaty and smelling, yet Boaz looked beyond all that. Some of you say, I got to get this one, I got to get that one. I'm too fat or I'm too small. Baby, it don't matter. Who God has for you, don't change us. It amazes me how women want to change themselves. Breast too small, breast too big, butt too small, butt too big.
That's it.
Thighs too big, thighs too small. Feet too big. Toes are ugly. Honey. the right man, you don't care nothing about them toes. Don't care nothing about them toes. Oh, how ugly it is. They don't care nothing about. I'm telling my daughter, baby, don't try to change yourself. God made you just the way you are. And the man that you marry gonna love everything about you. Because you were made for him. So don't change how you look. Understand, God made you that way. If you change how you look, when the man come looking, he gonna bypass you because that ain't the one you look. Wait a minute, no, that can't be the one because she done changed her face not the same. So, don't change who you are. And stop downplaying your shape. I see so many women cover up their shape. No, because I don't really like this about me, and I don't like that about. Baby, God made you that way. Man, God made you that way.
Yes, yes.
When the right one comes,
Say it now.
again, when the right one comes that God sends, he'll know. That's her. That's him. Again, Boaz saw her. Through all her and gave up and had favor on her. He went beyond all that. The favor of God was on her. And favor ain't fair. You ever look at somebody together and say, what's she seeing him? What he seeing her? I don't understand. I know I look better than her. I know he could do better. Honey, when favor in your life, favor ain't fair. You ain't got to worry about that. It's not all about the looks. How's your character? I said you don't have to trick, steal, or lower yourself. But just wait on God and his timing.
Yes. That's it.
So what or who God has for you, what he has for you, who he has for you, no devil in hell can stop it.
Glory to God.
Jesus.
Oh, I heard somebody, pastor said, delayed doesn't mean denied.
That's it. That's it.
Well, I'm getting older now. Now, Lord, I believe you. I stand in the word, but I'm getting old. And I'm not getting any younger. He got to come. Remember, I said sometimes well, maybe I need to help God out. And delay doesn't mean you're denied. He's just getting you ready and prepared for the one. For that house, for that car, for that child, for that husband, for that wife. He has to prepare you. You may think you're ready.
That's it right there.
Each of these things come with responsibility.
Jesus.
It says that when Boaz did all that, it said Ruth fell on her knees and wanted to know why had she found favor in his eyes, that he should take notice of her. Just take an Israelite wealthy man, takes notice of a Moabitess. He tells her all that he had heard about her and what she had done for her mother-in-law since the death of her husband, how she had left her mother, her father, the land of her birth, and came to a people she didn't know. And he said to her, the Lord would pay her for the work, and a full reward be given to her by the Lord God of Israel.
Yes, Lord.
You know, sometimes people speak, and sometimes God gives you a word to say. You don't even understand the word, but you just know this is what God says.
Yes, yes.
You speak over their life, and you don't even know why. You just saying it, but it's God. What is God? God has a plan. What has Ruth done? She had put her trust in God of Israel. She left her people, came among strangers, humbled herself, found protection under the wings of God.
Jesus.
Because she chose God.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you, Father.
Above everything else.
That's it.
In any of these scriptures and verses, it never says that Ruth was saying, maybe I'll find me a husband.
Yeah.
None of that. It says none of that. She loved her mother and wanted to stay connected to her and her God. And she was working and providing for the both of them. Her character.
Jesus. Wonderful.
So Boaz invited her to dinner, and when she left, he instructed the man to leave a little extra for the glean. And it says in between the 17th, 18th verse of the second chapter that when Ruth returns home, she begins to tell Naomi of the events of the day. And through the 19th and 23rd verse, Naomi then asks, who did she glean today? Or where did she glean today? And she tells her about Boaz's field. When Naomi heard that it was her near kinsman, she began to have hope again.
Wow.
What? You were doing what? You was in the field. Wait, where? Who did you meet? Boaz. Oh, he came to me. She got hope. Immediately when she realized that it was Boaz, her kinsman, she got hope.
That's it. That's it.
Lord.
Maybe. By chance, maybe.
Hey, God.
Just wait.
I may get my child. Oh, glory. I may get it again. I may get blessed again. I know I lost my husband. I know I lost my sons. But maybe, just maybe,
Jesus.
God is thinking about me. Maybe God is working this thing out. Maybe I don't have to be childish. God is working this thing out. Maybe. No, only got hope again. She was bitter, but now she's like, woo, what you say? Woo. Fire got in. She got, so wait a minute, okay, what you say?
Jesus.
She tells him how Boaz told her to glean on in his field and stay with the young women and don't go into any other field. And no woman, she hears this and begin to bless the Lord.
Wow.
Again, God had a plan. And Ruth did stay with Boaz, maidens, and gleaned to the end of the barley harvest and wheat harvest. She stayed there. Did as her mother instructed her. Because God had a plan.
Jesus.
And when I read this, I read this over again. God had a plan. He had a plan for you and I. God had a plan. It wasn't just about Naomi.
Yeah. Jesus.
It was about us.
Jesus.
In the chapter 3, it said that Naomi that knew that Boaz was a relative of the king, and because of his kindness and generosity to Ruth, that he may be persuaded to marry Ruth. Maybe. Because already something is happening because he took notice of her.
Right, right.
That's something out of the ordinary. And the fact that he still, knowing that she was a Moabitess, that he still blessed her. God showed kindness toward her, favor towards her.
Jesus.
Knowing where she came from.
Wow.
Sometimes we reject people from where they came from. But he didn't. Says, so at the end of the barley harvest, the barley had to be winnowed, meaning to toss in the air and the fork. I like that when you had that. Toss in the air with a fork. Allow the wind to carry away the lightened chaff while the heavy grain fell to the ground. He said, now someone had to be on duty to guard against it being stolen or eaten by animals. God had a plan. God is working this thing out. So Naomi says, look here, clean yourself up. And go without anyone knowing and uncover his feet. Lay at his feet. Don't let nobody know. Sometimes we mess up by opening up our mouths. Some things you need to keep to yourself. The promise of God, sometimes you might need to be quiet about it unless God told you to tell it. You going after something, amen, you were telling somebody else about something, you thought before you know it, they done took what you... Sometimes it's just best to keep. So she goes and lays at his feet and covers herself, and she does just as she has been instructed. How many times the apostle told you something and you did the opposite? But not Ruth. She did just what she told her to do. Said midnight, Boaz awakes and startled and asked who was there. And she answered and said, it was her, Ruth, and says to him to take her as a maidservant under his wings. That he was a close relative, meaning I am a widow. Take me as your wife. His response to her was she had showed him much kindness at the end than the beginning. He was in awe. You want me to marry you? You want me? I'm an older man. I ain't saying old man, just an older man. So I'm an older man. So he says that he showed me much kindness at the end than the beginning. That she didn't go after the younger man, whether rich or poor. And that he would do in her all that she asked. And I know God was in this because sometimes it takes us so long to say, I want you. This didn't happen. It said after the barley harvest, so there was some little closeness there. Didn't say they interacted with one another. Didn't say that he was stopping by, talking to her at all. Didn't say any of that.
None of that.
None. But yet still, he says, I would do it all that she asked. But there was a near kinsman. He knew that there was somebody nearer than him as a kinsman. Boaz was just flattered that she chose him. That she chose him, me. And my thought was, you're an Israelite. You got money. This woman is a Moabite. And you are all and flattered that she would want you? You would want me? He calls her a virtuous woman. It's a woman of strength and good quality, integrity, virtuous. It says that during the 14th and 15th verse of the 3rd chapter, it says that she lays at the feet until morning and quietly gets up to go home. But not without Boaz filling her shawl up with 6 ephahs of barley. Fill them up. She still didn't go empty-handed. And when I looked it up, it says that the 6 measure of barley was a sign of 6 pious men. I mean, devout, dedicated, God-fearing, holy, saintly, and righteous, who would descend from her endowed with 6 spiritual gifts. Then they gave me the name of the men was David, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah, and the Messiah. And the Messiah. So, although she may think that they're doing it, but it's God doing it. Around the 6th and 18th verse, Ruth goes home and tells Naomi tells Ruth that Boaz will not rest, and he says, I'm going to do it. He didn't rest. He didn't wait another week. He didn't wait 2 weeks. It said immediately. Say, Naomi knew. Say, he's not going to rest till he concludes the matter. That day, God has a plan. God's plan was now. Working, getting to the end of it. His plan was working again, not knowing. Sometimes you're in such despair and you can't even see your way out. You just say, I don't see the end to this thing. It seems like it's getting worse than better. You don't see it. But God working it out. You said something, amen. Earlier you said that when he prayed, that Daniel prayed.
Yes.
God he said he heard him.
Yes.
When he prayed that day. But
21 days later, the adversary.
21 days, the adversary. It may be longer than you right now. And you thinking God may not be answering. It may not haven't heard you at all. It may not get answered. Maybe I heard it wrong. Maybe I heard it wrong. Maybe it's to somebody else. And especially when you see everybody else.
Come on.
No. When is my turn?
Come on.
Jesus.
Wait a minute, she just got here. What? He just got here.
Jesus.
I've been praying, I've been faithful, I've been working. And this person just come and soon as they get here.
Yes.
They don't think they even asked for it. I'm asking God for it, they got it yet. What's up with this God? I don't understand. I'm faithful. I'm at church. Do whatever the pastor asks. I'm doing everything, and yet still it seems like you're passing me by. You passing me by. And I can hear others mocking and saying, where's your God at?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Why you ain't got nothing yet? Where's your car at? Y'all still want me to come serve, want me to sing? You ever been feeling so bad that, amen, praise God, want me to sing? You want me to sing? I don't feel like singing. You didn't know what I'm going through. I don't feel like coming. I got to come to church and I don't feel like coming. You don't know what I'm going through at home? Nobody cares.
Jesus.
I love God. The Lord win.
Jesus.
I love you, God. But when, God? Why is this happening to me?
Jesus.
Why is everybody else but me?
Jesus.
Why do everybody got a husband but me? Why do everybody have a wife but me? Why does everybody have children but me? When is it my time?
Jesus. Oh my God.
And I've been here 10 years and I still don't have anything.
True.
I see everybody being blessed and smiling. I don't feel like smiling, but yet still I got to smile. Praise the Lord. Woo, highly blessed and highly favored. Saying the Lord, but I'm waiting on him. You got to praise him in the good and the bad. You have to take your eyes off of self. And keep it. I see why he says, whose mind is stayed on him, is kept in. I understand it now that, amen, well, if I keep my mind on him, that means I can't think about my problems. I can't think about my situation. I can't think about what I don't have when my mind is on him. When I'm doing his will, I don't have time to think about what I don't have. Maybe that's what God's trying to tell you. Get your mind back on me. I'm your I am your God, your Father. I got you. He says, I'll give you the desires of your heart. I heard you, but I got to prepare you for it. I got to prepare you for it. I know where you want to go, and I know you're in a hurry to get there, but I got to prepare you for it. Because if I do it too soon, you might mess up. You might do more harm than good. I'm preparing you. So I don't want you to get, because this happened quickly with Ruth. But you have to understand, it's Naomi. She'd have been gone for 10 years, and all this thing happened to her, and she comes back empty-handed, nothing. It's more about Naomi, where she had lost hope, that she was bitter and felt like God had forgotten her. And she was settled with, okay, this is my fate. This is my fate. To Boaz. And she got her hope back. It says that Boaz did, in the 4th chapter, Boaz did just what they said he would do. He goes to the gate and sat down, and this is where all the esteemed sat, amen, all the men sat. And when the king came by, he asked him to sit and gather 10 elders as witness. He had a witness. Amen. Anything you do or say, you better have a witness. He asked the near king to redeem the land of Naomi, and that he had also had to buy it from Ruth. The kinsman then declined, said, no, I can't do that. I'll be giving her my own name if I have to. What? I got to do what? Just not only buy it, but I got to also buy it in Ruth? And lose my name? No, I can't do that one. He declines. And that when he declines, he gave Boaz a chance to redeem, to be the redeemer. It said the custom was that they take off their sandal. That was a strange custom. I had to say. They take off a sandal and give it to the other. This was a confirmation. Take off a sandal and give it to the other. Strange. Boaz did it. You know, I'm going to tell you right now, it may be strange, it may be crazy. God may tell you to do some crazy stuff. It may be, honey, but when you desperate and hungry for God, you do just that and more. I cried louder. Tears falling out, maybe swallowing, but honey, Lord, whatever it takes to get what I need to get and get where I need to go, Lord, I'll do that.
Yeah. Yes, Lord. Jesus.
Actually do some strange stuff.
Yes.
Boaz committed himself to redeem Noah and Naomi property and to marry Ruth. and to perpetuate the name of Elimelech and Mahlon and Chilion with the blessings of the elders. I want to get you back to the threshing floor. It said the threshing floor has a spiritual significance as a place where good and evil are separated. Where the grain and the chaff are separated. Ruth symbolized the believers or spiritual Israel, for she was gentle who converted to Judaism. Boaz is Christ, the Redeemer. When Ruth comes to the threshing floor, she is in need, responding to Boaz, his kindness and generosity. She has learned that he is a good man, and she trusts him. The fact that her attention takes place at the threshing floor along the grain and the chaff is a symbol of man's need for redemption. The threshing floor. I don't wear all the mics, Lord help us. The threshing floor, the grain and the chaff, is a symbol of man's need for redemption.
Jesus.
And God's identity as Redeemer.
Yes, Lord.
The difference between the grain and the chaff, between good and evil people, is not their good or evil work. The grain is gathered in the barn by faith. Where's your faith at?
Jesus.
The grain is gathered in the barn by faith by the gift of God, who provides righteousness and spiritual safety through Jesus Christ, our kinsman redeemer. Sometimes you got to get at the threshing floor. Sometimes you got to go down and humble yourself and go before God and cry out to God. But crying out to God without faith.
Oh, wow.
I many cried. I see people crying out all day at the altar, and cried out. No faith, no change.
Jesus.
Meaning, oh yeah, God really dealing with them. Oh, I see God dealing with them. Oh, I see them crying. Yes. Oh, yes. No. A show for everybody else, but God sees the heart.
That's it.
And when you're crying out to God, that means you're having faith to believe in God going to work this. I'm crying to God, because it's only you. I know nobody else can help me but you. I come to you, God, my Savior, my Deliverer, my Waymaker, my Healer. I'm going to come to you, Lord God, and I'm going to stay there till you work it out. I believe you're going to change this thing. I believe that change going to come. I believe a way going to be made. I believe a door going to be open. I'm coming to you, Lord God, because there's nobody else I can go to. There's no other help. There's no other help. Because sometimes God will move everybody around you. Sometimes God will shut up every door that you have to go to get you to go to that one door. Maybe God is telling you, you need to come to the threshing floor. Stop going to this one and that one and that one and asking for help, and I'm your help. I'm your peace. I'm your joy. I got everything you need, praise God, but you got to trust me. I'm waiting on you. I'm there at the threshing floor, but I'm waiting on you to get there. I'm waiting on you enough to humble yourself down and come to me and say, Lord, here I am. I know, Lord, I've been unfaithful, and I went to everybody else, and I didn't trust you at the time, but Lord, I'm coming to you now. Forgive me, God, for not trusting you. Forgive me, God, for not praising you. When I was going through, when I had a pity part of myself, forgive me, God, when I stopped praising you. Forgive me, God, when I stopped working for you because I felt so bad and thought all about myself. Forgive me, God, when I didn't do my very best. Forgive me, God. I come to the threshing floor. To my only help.
Jesus.
Jesus.
To my only Savior. The only one that can work this out is you.
Jesus.
No man can fix this. No man can fix this. Now, I know the man could work some other stuff out, but this thing, or whatever the thing is, this thing requires you. This thing, only you and only you be able to fix this.
Jesus.
Why we go through the threshing floor?
Jesus.
Because this is where our help is. This is where our hope is. Don't give up on God. Don't stop praying. Don't stop fasting. Don't stop believing. Don't stop trusting. Go to the threshing floor.
Jesus.
Humble yourself. And trust God to work it out. I go to the threshing floor. Because that's where my help is. I lost all, but not you. Not you. Go to the threshing floor. God is waiting there. Hallelujah.